Today we will see stability analysis of infinite slopes. So in this diagram we can observe that AB is an infinite slope. It has slope angle I with the horizontal. So this AB is a free surface, free ground surface, and its inclination is I. Slope angle is called as I. It is indicated through symbol I. Okay, what is infinite slope? Now here it is mentioned that soil properties and stress conditions which we consider at any particular plane below the ground surface, those will remain identical. For example, if we consider a plane CD which is parallel to the ground surface AB, now consider any point on this inclined plane. So at that point the soil properties and the stress conditions both will be identical. Okay, this is the meaning of infinite slope. Now let us consider a failure plane. In case of this infinite slope, failure plane is always considered parallel to the ground surface, and the failure which occurs in case of infinite slopes is translational failure. So let us consider CD as that failure plane which is parallel to ground surface AB. Okay, that plane lies at depth Z below the free surface. Now consider a small soil element lying in this portion of slope. Okay, now here B would be the inclined length of the soil element, Z would be the depth of the soil element, and there will be unit thickness. Thickness of this element, soil element, would be perpendicular to the screen. So that thickness is considered unit thickness. Okay. Now in this slide we can see the same diagram but with some more details. Okay. So here we have that soil element in the magnified form. Also few dimensions are indicated here. See, here this inclined length was small b. Small b is nothing but width of this soil element. Okay, this soil element is called as prism. So we will say it is the inclined length of the prism along the slope. Fine. Now its angle with horizontal is I. So its base of this triangle I want to calculate. What will be the base? Base would be inclined length, that is hypotenuse, and this slope angle I. So B cos I would be this length. Okay, so B cos I is the width of this soil element. Thereafter Z is the depth, this we already know. Now I want to calculate a weight of this prism, weight of this soil element. So weight is nothing but unit weight of the soil multiplied by its volume. So gamma multiplied by volume would be its weight. Now gamma would be known to us through lab testing. We will come to know about the unit weight of the soil, but how to calculate volume? Volume would be width into depth into length. So here width is B cos I, depth is Z, and length means length perpendicular to the screen, that is in y direction, would be 1, that is unit thickness. In this way B cos I multiplied by Z multiplied by 1 would be the volume. So volume into unit weight would be the capital W, that is total weight of this soil element. Now I want to find out vertical stress which is acting on surface CD because of this weight. So how to find out that? It would be nothing but weight upon the area on which that weight is acting. That area would be inclined length B multiplied by unit thickness. So here we can see vertical stress on surface CD which is inclined is denoted by sigma Z, which is equal to total weight W divided by area. and area would be B multiplied by 1. Hence that 1 is ignored there. Hence it has become W by B. What is W? W is gamma B cos I into Z, which will be written in the numerator, and that will be divided by this B. Hence finally this B will get cancelled and we will be obtaining this equation, gamma Z cos I. So what is this? Gamma Z cos I is nothing but the vertical stress acting on this inclined surface at the bottom of the soil element, okay, due to the weight of the soil prism. After this, we will calculate the normal stress. Normal stress means normal to this inclined surface. So this normal stress would be called as sigma. Okay, so this sigma we want to find out. How to calculate that? Normal stress on the surface CD would be equal to the sigma, that is component of this weight sigma Z perpendicular to this inclined plane CD. So that component would be sigma Z cos I. So from the previous equation we can substitute the values. So we will be getting normal stress as gamma Z cos square I. Right. Now tangential stress. Tangential stress is that stress which will be acting parallel to this inclined surface. It will be tangential to the surface. It is also called as shear stress or mobilized shear strength or applied shear stress. Okay. So this tangential component of vertical stress is calculated as gamma Z cos I sin I. Fine. So tau is shear stress which is developed on the sliding surface CD, and that will be resisted now by the shear strength of the soil. Shear strength of the soil is tau F. Okay, let us move further. Now here we can see we have to find out factor of safety. Factor of safety for the stability of the slope, and that will be against sliding, which is denoted by F, and it is calculated as tau F upon tau. That is shear strength of the soil divided by the shear stress or applied shear stress. So shear strength of the soil is now, it is governed by two parameters. We know that it is cohesion and angle of internal friction, that is C and phi. In general, equation for shear strength or failure envelope equation is written as tau F equals to C plus sigma tan phi. Okay, what is C? It is cohesion. And what is sigma? It is normal stress. And what is phi? Phi is angle of internal friction. But as we are considering the case of cohesionless soil, so cohesion would be 0. Therefore, the equation would now reduce to tau F equals to sigma tan phi, because C value is 0. Right. Now we will see how to calculate factor of safety for cohesionless soil. So consider there is a slope at inclination I with the horizontal, and a soil is there which is cohesionless, which has angle of internal friction phi. So what will be its strength envelope? In general equation we have seen that it is C plus sigma tan phi, but this is being cohesionless soil, C would be 0. This C is nothing but the y-intercept on the graph, right? So C being 0, y-intercept will disappear and strength envelope will pass through the origin of the system. Okay, on x-axis we have plotted sigma, that is the normal stress, and on y-axis we have plotted shear stress tau. OA is this line which indicates the strength envelope, and we know in case of cohesionless soil, shear strength is completely governed by angle of internal friction, this phi. Okay, now consider a soil element at some depth z below the ground surface, and that ground surface has inclination I with horizontal. This I is less than angle of internal friction phi. So inclination of slope is less than angle of internal friction of that soil. This is the meaning. Alright, now consider triangle OEF. How this triangle has been plotted? We have considered a soil element at certain depth z below the ground surface. At that depth Z, that point would experience normal stress and shear stress. So that has been plotted. So OE would represent that normal stress and EF will represent that shear stress. Okay. In this way, point F will have coordinates sigma and tau. This way this triangle has been opted. So tan I is equal to EF upon OE, that is opposite upon adjacent. Hence tau upon sigma. Rearrange the terms. So tau, that is shear stress, is equal to sigma tan I. This is called as applied shear stress. Shear stress existing at the site, or tangential stress acting at the site at depth Z. Now at failure, what will be the situation? At failure, this shear stress should reach its maximum value. That maximum value would be its shear strength. So when we extend line EF vertically upward, okay, so what would happen? It will intersect this strength envelope at point G. So G will be that point where shear stress is maximum and soil has reached its shear strength, the maximum possible value, and beyond this, if shear stress exceeds, the soil will fail. Okay, so this way the strength envelope will give us that maximum value of shear strength. So at failure, tau F, okay, we can see in the formula tau F, how it has been calculated? It has been calculated in the same way as we have found out shear stress tau. How? See, point O, point E and point G, these 3 points are forming a right angle triangle. So tan phi will be opposite side GE divided by adjacent side OE. Hence, tan phi equals to GE upon OE. GE is nothing but tau F, the maximum possible shear stress which a soil can carry, that is its shear strength, divided by normal stress sigma. After rearranging the terms, we will be getting this formula, that is tau F equals to sigma tan phi. How to find out factor of safety? Factor of safety is nothing but the ratio of shear strength to the shear stress. Hence, it is tau F upon tau. Okay, tan phi is nothing but shear strength tau F. Okay, how? We have seen before, right? C is 0. So that's why it will be governed only by sigma tan phi parameter. And tau is shear stress, which is tan I. So this ratio gives us factor of safety of cohesionless soil for infinite slope in dry condition. One more thing we can conclude here, that this factor of safety for cohesionless soil is independent of depth of failure plane when the slope is infinite. Okay, here we can see in the ratio there is no such parameter which will indicate depth of the failure plane. So it is only the game of tan phi and tan I, right? One more thing here we can say, you can observe on the diagram, when a slope has angle of inclination, that is I, less than angle of repose, that is phi, the slope will remain stable, because any point on that slope or parallel to that slope would be experiencing shear stress below the value of shear strength. Hence, whenever I is less than phi, the slope is called as stable slope in case of cohesionless soil. But once this angle of inclination of the slope crosses or exceeds the value of angle of internal friction, what would happen? It will become unstable. So this line OC, it indicates that slope which will be unstable. So it is not possible to provide slope to that cohesionless soil at this inclination which is greater than angle of internal friction. Alright, in this way we can find out whether the slope is stable or unstable in case of cohesionless soil in dry condition. Now we will see how to find out factor of safety for cohesionless soil but in the presence of water. So what is the effect of presence of water on the factor of safety? Okay, so we will consider steady seepage condition which is occurring parallel to the slope. Here you can consider this as free surface, free ground surface, which is at inclination I. So it is a slope, natural slope, and this red line at depth Z indicates the failure plane. This dotted line indicates the level of water which is present in this slope. So this level is taken from the base of this failure plane. So this failure plane is datum. With respect to that datum, we are considering this H. So this is the height of water. Now we will follow the same method as we have followed before. Here again same soil element we will consider. Its inclined length will be small b, its weight we will calculate, normal stress and tangential stress we will calculate. But in this case the normal stress which we are calculating, it is not the total stress, it is the effective stress. What is total stress? That total stress consists of stress due to soil, so also stress due to the water present in the soil. But when we speak about the effective normal stress, we ignore the stress due to the presence of water. Now here we will calculate effective normal stress as sigma dash equal to gamma z minus gamma wh cos square a. What is gamma? It is the unit weight of the soil. Z, it is the depth of the failure plane. Gamma w, unit weight of water, and h is height of water table with respect to plane of failure. Okay, tangential stress tau is calculated as gamma z cos I multiplied by sin I. Now what is factor of safety? It is tau f upon tau, that is shear strength upon shear stress. So tau f would be sigma dash tan phi upon tau. So sigma dash has been substituted with its value which we have found out before, and tau is gamma z cos I sin I. Now after simplifying this, we will be getting this equation, that is f equals to gamma z minus gamma wh, this would be the quantity in bracket, tan phi divided by gamma z tan I. Okay, so this is the formula when the depth of water table is at some h level from the failure plane. Okay, but if this water rises to the ground surface, so what will happen? The complete slope will be underwater and the seepage is occurring. Okay, so what will be the effect of this on the formula? Here Z is the depth of failure plane and h is the height of water level with respect to failure plane. Here when the water level rises to ground surface, h and z both will be equal. Therefore the formula is further written as gamma saturated into z minus gamma w into z tan phi divided by gamma saturated into z into tan I. So this gamma value, that is the bulk unit weight, is now replaced by saturated unit weight because the soil is completely below water, it is in saturated condition. Okay, so gamma saturated z minus gamma wz, this will give us submerged unit weight. Z would be taken outside as a common quantity, multiplied by tan phi divided by gamma saturated z tan I. So this z would get cancelled. Okay, this z and these two z's would get cancelled. So finally what we will obtain? We will get f equals to gamma submerged tan phi divided by gamma saturated tan I. So this is ratio of submerged unit weight to the saturated unit weight of the soil. Tan phi and tan I, they are similar to our previous condition. Okay, here also we can say that this factor of safety is independent of depth of failure plane. Rather, it is dependent on the ratio of submerged unit weight to saturated unit weight of the soil. It has been roughly 0.5. This ratio is roughly 0.5. So it is further can be simplified as F equals to 0.5 times tan phi upon tan I. So this factor of safety of cohesionless soil when it is fully saturated and seepage is occurring, this is 50% of that factor of safety for cohesionless soil which is in dry condition. Alright, I hope you have understood this. So today we have seen how to find out factor of safety for cohesionless soil for infinite slope when it is dry, and second condition when it is saturated and seepage is occurring parallel to the slope. Next time we will see how to find out factor of safety for cohesive frictional soil, that is C5 soil, for infinite slope. Thank you.